Yo, what's up guys, it's Locust and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be going over how to make a Minecraft C++ JNI cheat. We're going to be using the JNI, the library, in order to make a Minecraft cheat. This video is going to be showing you how we can hook OpenGL in Minecraft and create an ImGui menu. There's going to be two other videos that are going to release. One of them is going to be how to make a speed hack, and one of them is going to be how to make a fully fledged ESP from scratch. So both those videos will be coming out soon after this one. But I'd like to separate them into different parts because I did get some constructive criticism saying that people would like not my videos to be maybe like an hour long. So, you know, two parts could really help with that, or multiple parts is going to help with that. So let's just get right into it. So make sure you have C++ installed, and we're going to go and select the DLL and hit next. We're going to name it like JNI cheats, and then make sure to check this. It just makes the project structure a little easier, and hit create. Okay, so now that we're in our program, we're going to do a couple things first before we get into everything. So we're going to go ahead and click on this to show all files so we don't see the filters. We're going to right click our JNI cheat, and we're going to go to properties, and we're going to go to advanced and make sure you put the character set on not set and hit apply. Okay, so put that on not set. We're going to go to VCPKG and make sure this is on no. If you do have this option, put that on no. And then precompiled headers, and we're going to put this on not using precompiled headers. Make compiling a little slower, but it's stupid, so screw it. Okay, so now we have everything set up. We can go ahead and start. So the first thing I like to do is just clean up our DLL main here and just make it look a little nicer. I don't really like reading functions the top to bottom, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just get rid of these extra spaces, and there we go. Looks a little better. And now we have our switch statement here. UL reason for call. This should be pretty self-explanatory. So this is all the possible switch statements that could happen. All the possible cases that could happen whenever you inject your DLL. So you have it attaching. You have your thread attaching when you create a new thread. You have your thread detaching. So when you get rid of your thread, and you have when you actually detach it from the process. We're going to go to process attach because you don't even have a thread yet. So we're going to go in here, and actually we're just going to go make our thread first. So for a DLL, you have to create a thread. Think of a thread of like our main program, which we're going to tell how we want to control the flow of things. It's basically just the guts of our DLL, just the function of our DLL. So we're going to make it a D word and Win API. We have to define this because this is all Windows level stuff. So and then you have to pass the H module because that's just how it works. And now we're going to go to process attach after we've done this, and we're going to create thread. We're going to do create thread, and then we're going to pass this is kind of just from memory, but pass null pointer, pass 0, and then we're going to cast LP thread start routine. So we're just going to cast that main thread, and then we're going to pass through our module 0 null pointer. So the only really information we put in here is all the stuff we have here. We didn't really pass anything new other than a couple of null pointers and zeros. So yeah, we just had to convert this because we have a dword Win API. We have a main thread of type dword that we have to convert to this in order for it to accept it, and this is just an 8-byte start LP thread start routine. We have to cast it. So yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and actually work on this. So we're just going to make a console. So let's go ahead and do alloc console. All right, there we go. And we're going to create our file stream. So we've allocated a space for the console. Now we're going to create our file stream. We have to go and include stdio. This is going to create our IO buffer of F. And now we can go ahead and use FreeOpen to redirect the stream to F. So we've created our buffer. We're going to go ahead and redirect the stream of con out with that, with $. That's the output. So whatever we want to, whatever outputs, we're going to write it to that, and then we're going to put std out, which is the stream that we're going to redirect. So everything in std out will now be redirected to this buffer, which we will see in our console. All right, now we're going to do a while loop, and we're going to do get async key state. So what we're going to do is while we're not clicking whatever key we're going to put, and then we're going to use a virtual key code, which are kind of special, the special keys that aren't WA, like, you know, the letter keys. And we're just going to use vk_n because it's really hard to accidentally click that. So while if we click, while we're not clicking that, we're going to sleep. So we're going to actually go up here and include. We're going to include thread, and we're going to include chrono. Oops. There we go. And now we're going to go in here and do std this underscore thread, and then we're going to do sleep 4, and then we're going to do std chrono. So now we're in the chrono namespace, and we're going to specify milliseconds 100. So chrono just holds all the seconds, milliseconds, so you can use them. It just holds the what they mean and like how to go about them. So we're going to sleep for 100 milliseconds because you can't just put in 100 here, because without std chrono milliseconds, C++ doesn't know what 100 is. So it formats it in a way it understands it. So anything past this will mean that if we click vk_m, anything past this is what's going to happen. So we're going to close the stream. So we're going to close std out. We're going to free our console, and we're going to free library and exit thread. And we're going to pass through the module and just pass through 0 for the exit code. And then we're going to just return 0. Okay, so here it is. This is basically, it should, whenever we inject, just make a simple console. Let's go ahead and build the solution. I'm going to be using Prism Launcher for Minecraft, also 1.8.9. So yeah, I recommend using Prism Launcher because you don't have to install Microsoft's really shitty bloatware launcher that installs like Xbox gaming shit. So just install Prism Launcher. It's really easy. You can just get Minecraft right from here. You just have to sign in with a Minecraft account and hit launch on 1.8.9. It opens in like 2 seconds too. It's really useful. All right, this built successfully. So we're gonna go and right click this and open the folder in File Explorer, and just go ahead and copy this path. All right, another injector I'm going to be using is Extreme Injector. This is just the injector that is the best for me. So go ahead and go to the link in the description if you want this. So we're going to add a DLL and just paste in our path up here. Go to x64, debug, and open it. And let's go ahead and inject. All right, so as you see, we now have our console right here. We're injecting successfully. All right, so I'm going to load into the game and inject, and we should see stuff go to the console. Let's go. Yep, there we go. As you see, now we have, because we've injected at the right time, now we have all of this. Yeah, so I'm like spinning around, don't mind that. It's just because of my mouse, the way it works. But yeah, we have our console now, as you see. If we save and quit, it'll save everything, and yeah. So there's our console. It'll give us all the Minecraft. It's basically just a Minecraft console. So yeah, now we have our console. We can go ahead and start working on our hook. So let's go ahead and just minimize everything. And we're just gonna go and right click and go to add new item. And we're gonna add a CPP file, and we're gonna call it hooks.cpp. And we're going to go ahead and add another item for our header file. And then we're going to add a new file for our ImGui render. And we're going to add a new file for our ImGui render. Alright, so we have our header files and our CPP files. We can go ahead and start, but let's just go ahead real quick before and just add something to this. And we're going to add disable thread library calls on the H module here. Let's just go ahead and call that just to be safe before we create our thread. Okay, so let's go into hooks.cpp. And this is going to be where we're going to do everything. We're going to make our hooks for ImGui. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and actually get our stuff up and running. Of course, the link of this will be in the description. And we're going to go and download ImGui, download the source code. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and open our file. Actually, we're going to add a new folder and call it src. And then we're going to right click, add another folder and call it include. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and open folder in File Explorer, and we're going to go and open our ImGui. Okay. We're going to go ahead and paste in the src file, paste every single .cpp file in here. So this, all of these. So these are .cpp. We're going to just drag and drop them all in here. And then we need to go into backends. And for this, we're going to only need to grab 132 and we're going to grab 132 and the OpenGL 3.cpp. So let's drag and drop it. And those are all the CPP files that we need. Go back to our include, and while we're already in here, we're just going to grab this, and we're going to grab this and the loader. So throw those in there. And then just grab all these header files. Alright, so now we're going to go back to our this, and we're going to go and we're going to go to right click include and add existing item, and we're going to include and just go ahead and select all of these and hit add. It's going to add them all just like that. Do the same with the source file. Go to source, select all of them, hit add. So now we have every one of these in our project. We just need to go ahead and add them actually to our include. So we're gonna go to general and then additional include directories. Go to edit, and we're gonna add our include and apply. In our linker input, should be add. This is fine. All right, so if we just build this, all right, there we go. All right, so that's succeeded. If we go into hooks, if we do include, we can type in, we can put in imgui.h, and as you see, it gets included. And if we do this, imgui dot, fuck, we're gonna like this, imgui, all of them come up. So yeah, that's all the ones we need. That's good. So in the link in the description, this is gonna be the link in the description. We need to do make a glad file, which is going to be for our hook. So we're going to go ahead and go to GL version 3.2. And then make sure this is on. Yep, this is fine. Check loader and hit generate. And then we're gonna go to glad.zip. And we have our include and our source files. So we're gonna go and open folder in File Explorer. And then just go ahead and throw these right in here. Yeah. And then we're gonna go and what did I just click? Okay, it's just starting. All right, I don't know what I just clicked, but all right. So we're gonna go to here, add existing item, and go to our include. Just select both of these and hit add. Or actually, we gotta go individually. So add this, and it'll automatically add the folder, so don't worry about it. All right, go into source. Add GL.c. All right, the next thing we're gonna need to do is go to our linker. So we're gonna go right click and go to properties, go to our linker, go to input, additional dependencies. We're gonna edit this and we're gonna add OpenGL32.lib. So go ahead, okay, apply, okay. All right, so we're just gonna start. The first thing we're gonna do is in hooks.cpp, we're gonna add a type def bool, and this is gonna be our function. So we're gonna make a win API pointer, and this is gonna be our swap buffer. So in OpenGL, SwapBuffers is the one that we need to hook, just like in DirectX. I think it's hook end scene or something like that. Hook SwapBuffers is going to be the one where we're going to do, it's going to, when we hook SwapBuffers, we're hooking WGL SwapBuffers. So that one's going to be the one that we can hook. So, because it's called once per frame, right? So it's going to let us inject code into the render loop of Minecraft, right? And we can run the ImGui render loop every single frame. So this is basically just the one that we're gonna want to use. So we're just gonna go ahead and add HDC here. Okay, and we're gonna end that off. Okay, if we're getting an error because we need to include not that, we need to use we need to include windows.h. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do swap buffers underscore t swap buffers. So this is going to be our original swap buffers, because if you watch my function hooking, it talks all about trampoline functions. And I just realized, being in trampoline functions, we need to include MinHook. So okay, so we're going to download the latest release, and we're going to download the bin. This one comes with everything that we need. So these are the ones that we need. So, all right, so we're going to go to here. We're going to open, and we're going to go and drag and drop this in the include. So now we have minhook.h in the include, and then we're also going to the bin and drop the minhook x64 lib in here. Close everything. Go to include, add existing item. We're going to add in the include both of these. So both of these, just like that. And now we have to actually just right click this, rename, copy it. So Control A, Control C, and then we're going to go into our linker and add it. Let's go ahead and build and make sure there's no problems. And seems that it can't find minhook.x64.lib. All right, so what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm actually just gonna add a full path to it. So I'm gonna go into the include and just copy this, and then go to edit, and then just paste this before, add a backslash. This should now be able to find it. Yep, there we go. And let's go ahead and add the rest of the MinHook stuff to the additional dependencies. Or sorry, additional include directories. Or actually, wait, we're including everything. Okay, so now if we go into hooks.cpp, if we include and then minhook.h, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on. We're going to create a all right, so we're going to go ahead and create a handle to window, and this is going to be our global handle to window. So this is going to be our global handle to our Minecraft window. All right, and then we're going to have to find our window procedure. So this is when Windows sends like a click or anything. We're going to find that as our original window procedure because we're going to need to hook this for our ImGui menu to work. So I'll set this to no pointer. We're going to make first, let's just go ahead and include atomic, and we're going to make two atomic global variables. So we're going to make atomic bool g underscore initialized, set to false, and we're going to make atomic bool g underscore nice g underscore hook installed, false. And then we're also going to make extern bool show menu, which we'll define in a bit, but we're just going to have that there. All right, let's go ahead and hook our swap buffers. So we're going to do bool win API hk swap buffers. So this is going to be our swap buffers. All right, and now we're going to do static thread underscore local. And this is just going to be so we add recursion so we don't fucking crash. We're set in hook to false, and we're going to check if we are in hook. So if we are in hook, we're going to return the original swap buffers and not do anything. So we're not going to run our swap buffers hook, right? And then obviously if that doesn't work, then we're going to set in hook to true, because if this doesn't return, then that means we must not be in the hook. All right, so we're going to do if initialized dot load. So we're going to load that. So if we're initialized, we can continue with the hook. All right, so we're going to set the global handle to find window A. So let's go ahead and just set it. We're just going to use find window A, and we're going to pass through. I feel like the window, exactly the window name. So the window is Minecraft 1.8.9, and then we're going to see if we didn't get the correct, or if it didn't return anything, if there's no window named that, and we don't have the original window process, then we're going to return the original window process to its normal state. Of our handle here, p underscore win process, and then convert this to a long pointer. This is going to be our HK, our hook, which we haven't made yet. We'll get to that. Let's just count out this line for now. So this is going to be the one that's actually going to hook. We're actually going to hook our window process here. Well, let's just skip that. Actually, let's just count this whole line for now. We're gonna do if we have it, or if we have our window process or our handle to our window, then we're going to first thing we're going to do is check our version for ImGui. So we're going to do ImGui underscore check version, and we have to actually include ImGui. So just do this, include ImGui h, and we're going to also include ImGui. Let's just do it up here. We're going to include ImGui underscore render, or ImGui underscore ImGui. What do we have in here? Yeah, let's include this. Let's include our Win32. And let's include yeah. So all right. So I'm GUI underscore check version. There we go. So this is valid now. So we're gonna check the our version of ImGui, and then we're gonna create our ImGui context. We're gonna do ImGui IO, and then we're gonna do IO, and then get IO. And then we're going to go ahead and initialize the Win32. All right, so now we need to use the glad thing that we implemented. So we're going to do if not glad load GL. Glad, we're going to convert this to a glad load func WGL get proc address, and make sure to include the glad. So if we haven't loaded successfully, then let's just go ahead and set inhook to false and that hook, and then we're going to bail safely, so return the original swap buffers so we don't crash. All right, so now we need to actually specify the version for OpenGL. We don't want to use the latest version of OpenGL 3 because Minecraft might have some functions that Minecraft doesn't have yet, which could cause a crash. So we're gonna use version 120 just to be safe. That should have more. It should have even less than Minecraft, the normal Minecraft functions, but they're probably ones that we don't even need. So after this, we can set initialize to true, and that should be it. We can just add an else statement under here for if we don't find it, and didn't find shit. All right, let's go ahead and actually make our render loop now. So we're gonna do if g underscore initialized. I put this here. Dot load. Then we're gonna do if get async key state. And then we're gonna make a menu key, so we're just gonna do vk underscore insert. And we're gonna do and 1 is not equal to 0. That's just how we're going to do that. Then we're going to do show menu equals opposite of show menu. And yeah, that should be it. All right, let's actually get to rendering. So we're going to do ImGui underscore implement OpenGL 3 new frame. ImGui underscore 32 new frame. So we're just going to create new frames for both of them. ImGui and new frame. So there we go. Have our new frame. We'll do rendering here. So we're rendering like the menu here. And then we're going to just do ImGui render. Just going to render that. And now we need to back up and restore OpenGL. Alright, so I went ahead and just skipped ahead in this video because I don't really feel like you need to see me talking to you exactly what to write out. I feel like it'll just make everything slower, especially because this is a big line of code. Go ahead, pause video, write all of this out. This is literally just backing up and restoring. So it's like I said, it's not like I don't need to go over this very much. It's pretty, it's pretty repetitive. So yeah. All right. Once you have this written down, we can just go ahead and add another check for show menu. And we're just going to we'll do stuff here in the future. And then we're going to set in hook to false, because if we got it here, then we're not in the hook. And we can return the rest of SwapBuffers. All right, now we have to actually like make our hook, like we have to actually hook it. So this is gonna be we're gonna do hook SwapBuffers, and we're gonna do if not g underscore hook installed dot load. If MinHook underscore initialize is not equal to mh underscore okay, then we're gonna return. So if it doesn't initialize correctly, we return. We're gonna make our handle to module HGL. Well, it's gonna be get module handle A. And then OpenGL 32.dll, which is where make sure you spell this correctly. This is going to be where our WGL SwapBuffers is. So, oops, that's some colon. We're going to do void pointer target equals get proc address HGL, and then it's going to be called WGL SwapBuffers. Spell it exactly correctly, because that's exactly how you need to spell it. It's exactly what it's called. We're going to do mh underscore create hook and create our hook. So we have basically everything set up. We have our target that we just made. We're going to get the address of the HK SwapBuffers that we made. So it's going to be the address of our hook. And then we're going to have the original that we can use trampoline to. So we're just going to reinterpret cast of a void, and it always has to be a double pointer no matter what you're doing. So void double pointer, and then add the original SwapBuffers. Okay, there's our hook. We'll try and enable it. So if mh underscore enable hook target is not equal to okay. So if the hook fails to enable, then we're just gonna return. Okay, let's go ahead and add g underscore hook installed, because this installs our hook to true, so it doesn't run this a million times. And yeah, let's go ahead and just make one function for unhooking the swap buffers now. And this will just go ahead and implement, I can't spell. We're looking for shutdown. We're going to shut down the OpenGL 3. And we'll have 132. Shut down 132. We're going to destroy the context that we made. And we're going to check if we still have the window handle. And, oops. I don't know where the and symbol is. Oh, here it is. Get rid of this. And the original wind proc, which I promised, guys, I'll show you what we're going to do with it in a second here. We're going to set window long pointer of the original. I'll do WLP underscore win proc and long PTR original win proc. There we go. And then finally, we're just going to disable all the hooks. So mh underscore disable hook, and then mh underscore all underscore hooks. Yep, there we go. And we're just going to uninitialize MinHook. Okay. Make this a function. Okay. So I feel like we should have everything here, except there's just going to be no menu rendering here. And also we haven't really touched hooks.h, so let's go ahead and just add hook swap buffer to this. We're gonna add our unhook swap buffers. I think that's what I called it, right? Yep. Okay. And yeah, that should be all we need to add to that. Let's go ahead to our ImGui render now. Add that show menu bool. And then we'll do void render ImGui. If we're not showing the menu, we're gonna return. And then just do ImGui begin. And I like to just keep this in a separate file because it just makes everything more organized. So it calls Minecraft internal sheet. Oops. Let's just include ImGui.h. Okay. And yeah, and we're just gonna do ImGui end. Alright, so we'll add a checkbox I need to, I guess. We'll just add like a checkbox. Actually, we don't need to because I don't really feel like making it very well. Okay, so there's our menu rendering, so we can go back into our hooks.cpp, and where I put rendering, we'll do actually we need to go into our ImGui render.h and add void render ImGui. Copy this. Go into our hooks. Go into our rendering, and render it. Render it. Make sure to include the ImGui render.h. And we'll now go back to where we started, which is going to be in our DLL main. And in here, we can go ahead and call hook swap buffers right here. Make sure to include hooks.h. And then, oops, call this before, actually. So, right here. And then before we close, we're going to unhook our swap buffers. So I made a pretty critical mistake. What we're going to do is go to properties and first go to our C++ and go to our code generation and make sure this is on MDD. So just switch that to the MDD. right here, the runtime library. And the next thing we're going to do is go to MinHook, the MinHook that we downloaded, so right here. And we're going to download the lib. And this is actually going to be inside of the lib folder. This is actually going to be what we're going to use. I'm using the complete wrong library, which is going to cause that error that we just described. So we're going to go ahead and go into include and just go ahead and just nuke this off the planet of the Earth and go and select this one. And yeah, so go ahead and copy the folder path to this too. And then we can go ahead and go to add existing item and select it. Go. This one should already be gone, but we'll just delete it anyways. Make sure it's not included in the project. And then we have to actually go ahead and put this in our linker too. So go to linker, go to input, and then we're going to go and edit this, and then make sure just to add lib right here. So we have the full path. Oops, up here. Lib to get the full path. Hit OK, hit apply, hit OK. We're going to go ahead and build solution. All right, so here's our issue. I seem to put a little star or the pointer symbol here. So completely get rid of that. That's gonna mess everything up. That's my bad, guys. My keyboard, it's right next to they're right next to each other on 7 and 8. So yeah, so if we just get rid of that, it should fix that problem. So let's inject. There we go, injected successfully. Our menu isn't here, but once we click on insert on our keyboard, we have our menu. Now here's our menu, it works, but you might see that we can't interact with it, right? So we're not gonna be able to interact with our menu, and we can still move around in game and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that problem right now. So we're gonna go ahead and close Minecraft, and we're gonna go and do what I said that we were gonna do. So we're going to hook the window. So the first thing we're going to do is right here, we're going to do extern ImGui underscore implement underscore API L result. And then we're going to use ImGui underscore implement win32 underscore win proc handler. And then we're going to do this HWND handle to window. So this is going to be our window handle. And then we're going to have our uint of our message, our w param of our w param, and then the last one is our, I think it's l param. If this crashes, then oops. But I think that's all of them. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and now we're gonna do our L result call back, and then we're gonna do hook win proc and handle to window. Actually, we can just copy all this. There we go. Okay, so let's add if our menu is showing, because we only want to do stuff if our menu is showing. So we only want to be able to use the menu and do stuff if our menu is showing. So if our menu is showing, we're going to actually let ImGui handle all input. So we can do that by getting the current context, and if ImGui underscore implement win32 underscore, we're gonna get the proc handler, and then we'll pass through our we'll put this lowercase so it's different. We'll get our message, our w param, and our l param. All right. I don't know why this is here. Okay. So yeah, let's just let this handle all yeah, so we're just gonna return true on this. All right, we're gonna do a switch statement now. All right, guys, so I went ahead and just wrote this. You guys can go ahead and just copy it down. Like I said, I don't want to go through all this. This is just it's just gonna eat the input of all of these keys, so we can't like move around the game or like jump in game while the menu is open, so we don't accidentally it's not hard to control. Okay, so we're gonna return call window process of the original window process of this. our message W param and our L param like that. And yeah, so that's just going to return input to the game. All right, now we need to fix when we need to hook set cursor position, because if we don't hook that, then our cursor is going to stay in the middle of the screen, and we'll be able to move it around whenever we're in game. So we're gonna do set cursor pause _t, and it's gonna take int x and int y. That's how the function works. Just an x and a y coordinate, and we're going to use that type that we just defined and make it get the original and set it to no pointer. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and create a hook. So we're going to do bool win API hook set cursor pause int x int y, make them uppercase. If this menu is showing, so if show menu, we're going to return true. So this is just going to pretend the call succeeded, but it's not actually going to move the cursor. So we're basically tricking Minecraft. And then we're going to return the original. Otherwise we're going to return the original. I meant to say. With XY. Alright, let's actually make our function for hooking it, so that we can call it our DLL main. And we're gonna have our H module of HUser32, and we're gonna set this to get module handle a user32.dll. We're gonna have a void pointer of target equals get proc address, and we're going to do HUser32, and then we're going to do set cursor position, and then we're going to create our hook. So create hook. I think we can actually just go save some time by just grabbing this, scrolling up, and then just changing this to HK set cursor pose. And this should be O set cursor pose. And then let's go ahead and enable the hook. All right, let's go ahead and make one for showing the cursor visibility, because Minecraft does hide our cursor whenever we're in game. It doesn't actually show our cursor, so we need a function for showing our cursor visibility. And this is just going to be a simple function that takes true or false. So we're doing if visible. Thankfully, Windows has a really easy function for this, so we don't have to hook anything. We'll just do while show cursor true is less than 0. And then we just copy this and do else and paste this again. Set this to false, and that should be our set cursor visibility. So we are pretty much done here. We've done everything we need to do, so we can actually just go ahead and call the stuff. So we're going to scroll down here to where we have the if show menu, and we're going to go and set cursor visibility to true. And of course, we need to also clip the cursor, which you can do right here. So clip the cursor. All right, So that should be all. The only thing that we now need to do is go ahead and go back to our DLL main, and we need to scroll down here to where we have the hook swap buffers, and we just need to go ahead and hook set cursor position too. So. Alright, so there we go. We are now hooking set cursor position. Make sure that we include hooks, or actually we need to go to our hooks.h too, sorry, and we need to go ahead and add void hook set cursor position. There we go. So I think that's what it's called here too. Yep, hook set cursor position. And yeah. Alright, so I found the problem here. We just never commented this out. We never actually set the window proc. So we're gonna just comment this out here, because now we can actually, this is the thing that's making it's gonna make it work. So alright, so after we commented that out, the next problem is that this is always gonna return false. So get rid of this. That's just a mistake on my end. Alright, the next problem that I made is this has to be greater than or equal to 0, or else that's not gonna work. Alright guys, so after changing this, we should be good to go. So yeah, go ahead and change everything. The two things that we needed to change were to make sure that this is correct, make sure that there's no exclamation point here, make sure that this is uncommented. That should, I don't know if there's any more, but that should fix it. So let's go ahead and build, and let's go and launch 1.8.9 Minecraft. Let's go ahead and inject. I would wait till the game fully loads, just to make sure yep, there we go. And let's go ahead and inject. There we go. Let's go ahead and inject. There we go, injected. Let's go ahead and let's see, we can highlight everything. Let's hit insert. Oops, there we go. And now we can't highlight anything. And as you see, we have full control. So whenever show menu is working, ImGui takes the window process, so it takes control over it, all input. If we go into a world, all right, just load into a world. See, there we go, we're in a world. You can move around and stuff, but as soon as we open insert, you see we can't do anything. So yeah, that's good. That's basically it. You can go ahead and expand it and everything. So we've successfully made our own render hook in Minecraft. So yeah, we've made our own hook. Made ImGui work. Next tutorial, we're going to be going over cheats on it, how we're going to make some cheats. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.